Hi guys, today we'll talk about thalamus. So what is thalamus? Thalamus is a collection of nuclei subcortically somewhere located at the nearer to the third ventricle. So this is the egg-shaped nuclei and it is a part of diencephalon and located on the upper part of lateral wall of third ventricle. So thalamus is a cluster of egg-shaped nuclei located on the lateral wall of third ventricle, and thalamus is having two thalami, right and left, which are connected by intermediate mass at rostral. Rostral end means at the head end. And thalamic nuclei are classified according to their anatomical and physiological. Anatomical classification is based on their location. So we can see here one is anterior. So here is the anterior nuclei. This is the anterior nuclei. And another one is the medial, which contains median and centromedian nuclei, and the lateral is having again two parts, dorsal and ventral. Dorsal is again having lateral dorsal, lateral posterior and pulvinar. These are the three which are present in the lateral dorsal part. Coming to the lateral ventral part, we have ventral anterior, ventral lateral and ventral posterior, which is again divided into ventral intermediate, ventral posteromedial and ventral posterolateral. Combinedly, we can mention them as ventral posterior. So these are the anatomical nuclei. So I will be repeating. One is anterior, another one is medial, another one is lateral. Lateral is again dorsal and ventral. Dorsal is having lateral dorsal, lateral posterior, pulvinar. Other than that, we have medial geniculate body and lateral geniculate body. And coming to the physiological classification by Bondock, what is it is based on their function. Are they specific and carrying the sensory? So specific sensory relay nuclei, specific motor, association or less specific, and non-specific, and limbic system. So we classified them into 5 groups. Now we'll talk about those. So specific sensory relay nuclei, which are ventral posterior, medial geniculate body and lateral geniculate body. These will collect the information from the ascending tracts as well as optic and visual tracts and sends them to the respective cortices. And specific motor nuclei, which are ventral anterior and ventral lateral. These are concerned with collection of information from cerebellum and basal ganglia and sends them to the cortex. And less specific nuclei, which are dorsolateral, posterolateral and pulvinar. They will send the information to the association areas. And non-specific nuclei are concerned with diffused areas of the cortex. These are all midline, intralaminar and reticular nucleus. And they will be getting the information from reticular activating system, hypothalamus. So concerned with somewhat awakening. And the limbic system nuclei, which are anterior nuclei and dorsolateral nuclei, which projects to the limbic cortex, concerned with emotions and memory. Now we'll make that in the diagram. So the anterior one is limbic system nuclei in addition to dorsolateral. So we have two, anterior and dorsolateral will form the nuclei in connections to the limbic system. Now here our ventroposterior nucleus, in specific ventroposterolateral, is the specific sensory nucleus. Specific sensory nucleus in addition to medial geniculate body, lateral geniculate body. So we have these 3 entities together as specific sensory nuclei, and this is getting the information from spinothalamic tract, dorsal columns and also from trigeminal pathway. So that's the sensory component. And coming to the posterolateral, dorsolateral and pulvinar, these are called as association nuclei. as they are concerned with, they are reciprocally connected with the cortices. And this ventral anterior and ventral lateral are specific motor nuclei. And this medial group is non-specific nuclei which are concerned with crude sensations. So this is how the nuclei are classified physiologically. So again we'll be repeating. These two, ventral anterior and ventral lateral, are specific motor. Ventral posterior, medial geniculate body and lateral geniculate body are specific sensory. And pulvinar, lateral posterior, lateral dorsal are association nuclei. And the medial group, the intermedullary lamina group and median group, all are non-specific. I think the physiological classification is a bit clear. Now we'll go with the afferents and efferents. Now postroventral nucleus, or we can say that ventral posterior nucleus, whatever that, we already mentioned, it is receiving the information from spinothalamic, medial lemniscus, trigeminal fibers. So anterior and lateral spinothalamic tract, medial lemniscus is carrying dorsal columns and trigeminal fibers. These are carrying the sensory information from the body and face. Now where they should go? To the sensory cortex. So efferent is sensory cortex and the function is simple, sensory relay. So these nuclei will relay that sensation to their respective cortices. Now the next one is medial geniculate body. We already know that medial geniculate body is a component of auditory pathway. So afferent will be cochlea and inferior colliculi, part of auditory pathway, and efferent is auditory cortex. So the function is auditory relay. And one more specific we are having, that is lateral geniculate body. Lateral geniculate body is a part of visual pathway. So afferent is optic tract and efferent is visual cortex. Function is nothing but visual relay. So we talked about these three: ventroposterolateral, lateral geniculate, medial geniculate. This is concerned with vision and this is concerned with hearing and this is concerned with sensory relay. So both sensory as well as special sensory relay is occurring in the thalamus. Now specific motor nucleus, we have two nuclei, ventral anterior and ventral lateral. And what they are doing? They are getting the information from dentate nucleus of cerebellum and globus pallidus of basal ganglia. What they are giving the information? They are giving the information to the motor cortex. So they are relaying the proprioceptive information from the spinal cord which goes to this dentate nucleus and that receives to the thalamus. So they are concerned with proprioceptive and motor coordination. So sensory motor coordination. So here is the ventral anterior and ventral lateral which are getting the information from dentate nucleus and from basal ganglia, which is, and from here the efferent is to motor cortex. So that's the specific motor. And now we are with the association or less specific, which are nothing but dorsolateral, posterolateral or lateral posterior and pulvinar. These three are less specific. So dorsolateral nuclei and posterolateral both. Afferent is parietal lobe, efferent is also parietal lobe, and that is concerned with language and speech. So they are coordinating this language and speech. Pulvinar will be in afferent is from the cerebral cortex, mainly from the parietal, temporal and occipital regions, and efferent is also to the respective regions, parietal, temporal and occipital, and it integrates somatic, auditory and visual information. So integration of three sensory, auditory and visual occurs with the help of pulvinar. So these are the three non-specific or less specific nuclei. Coming to the non-specific nuclei, those are the midline nuclei. Afferent is from ascending tracts, hypothalamus and reticular formation, and efferent goes to hypothalamus, basal ganglia and neocortex. Function: it relays crude visceral and somatic sensations. as they are non-specific, pinpoint localization is not specific, not possible. That's why we are calling them as crude sensations. So the visceral sensations and also the crude sensations are transmitted through the ascending tracts to the midline nuclei. That's why they are called as non-specific nuclei. Coming to the intralaminar nuclei, afferent is from reticular activating system and basal ganglia, and efferent is to the prefrontal cortex and is concerned with arousal as well as motor function. So awakening is by the intralaminar nuclei. So we are talking about this medial group which is non-specific, and they are giving the information to hypothalamus and basal ganglia and also to motor cortex, neocortex. Dorsomedial nucleus, afferent is hypothalamus and prefrontal cortex, efferent is prefrontal cortex and is the association center for synthesis of crude sensations. So all these non-specific nuclei or midline nuclei or intralaminar nuclei are concerned with crude sensations. And coming to the limbic system nuclei, we already mentioned anterior nuclei and dorsolateral nuclei. These are the two nuclei of limbic system nuclei. So anterior group, if you see here, this is the anterior thalamic nuclei getting the information from mammillary body, mammillary thalamic tract, and efferent is to cingulate gyrus, and this is a part of Pepys circuit which is concerned with memory and emotion. So afferent is mammillary body, efferent is cingulate gyrus, and function is short term memory and emotion. So completing the Pepys circuit, other two parts are parahippocampus and hippocampus, which again connects to the mammillary body. So this is called as Pepys circuit. Our thalamus, which is anterior nucleus of thalamus, is concerned with memory and emotions, memory in specific short-term memory. Dorsolateral group is there, which is having afferent precuneus cortex, and efferent is also precuneus cortex and is concerned with emotions. Coming to the thalamic radiations, these fibers, these efferent fibers which are going out are called as radiations. So we have four lobes: frontal, temporal, parietal and occipital. Similarly, we have anterior radiation which is from medial and lateral thalamic nuclei, goes to the frontal lobe, and they are mainly concerned with motor. So anterior thalamic radiation is motor. Superior is parietal lobe. We know that parietal lobe is concerned with sensory. So that is with lateral mass of nuclei, goes to postcentral gyrus where sensory cortex is located, and they are sensory fibers. And posterior or occipital, we know that occipital lobe is for vision. So pulvinar and lateral geniculate body, occipital lobe, and is concerned with vision. Similarly, inferior or temporal lobe. So temporal lobe, we already know that it is for auditory. So pulvinar plus medial geniculate body goes to auditory cortex. These are the thalamic radiations. Now coming to the functions of thalamus. So we already talked about the functions. The prime function, if at all anyone asks me what is the function of thalamus, the first answer I will give you is sensory relay. So thalamus relays both sensory as well as special sensory, except olfaction. Except olfaction, every sense comes to the thalamus. From there it will be transmitted to the or is relayed to the specific sensory areas in the cortex and center for processing of sensory information. So even before going to the cortex, thalamus can decide or can process the sensory information. So how it processes? Let us think that spinothalamic tract is carrying pain, temperature, crude touch, fine touch, and everything. Everything is coming through a single dorsal column. Let us think that. And from there, it can make out, sort out, and it can send it to the specific cortex. So it is initial processing occurs. And it also can determine subcortically the quality of sensations. What quality? Affective nature, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant sensation, and discriminative, what type of sensation it is and from where it is coming. So it can locate and it can determine what type of sensation it is. And also it is the center for sexual sensations. So the sensations which makes erections or whatever, that is also under the control of thalamus. And as we mentioned, as is concerned with memory, we'll talk about the Pepper circuit again. And it is also having a role in arousal and alertness, as it is having connections with a reticular formation. So the reticular activating system will transmit to the midline nuclei, and this midline nuclei will transmit to the cortex. This causes the arousal mechanism. And as it is having the sensory integration, it is also center for reflexes, and sensory motor coordination occurs at the level of thalamus because it is connected with cerebellum and basal ganglia. So cerebellum is the comparator. It compares the spinal cord information and it compares the order from the cortex. It again sends that through the thalamus to the cortex. So connections with the cerebellum and basal ganglia helps in sensory motor coordination. As we already mentioned, memory and short-term memory and emotions are part of Pepper circuit. Pepper circuit here is the cingulate gyrus connecting the parahippocampus, hippocampus, mammillary body and anterior thalamus. So anterior thalamus is a part of Pepper circuit, helps in the short-term memory and emotions. And language is speech. The dorsolateral nuclei, which is reciprocally connected with the parietal lobe, is concerned with language and speech. So that's the functions of thalamus. And the defect in thalamus, like let us think that there are postroventral nucleus, which is the sensory part, and the specific nuclei is lost or is dead by loss of blood supply. So usually thalamo-geniculate branch of posterior cerebral artery, if it is having any block, infarction of this postroventral nucleus occurs. And what are the features? So all the senses will be lost. Astereognosis, unable to identify a known object with closed eyes, that is lost. Sensory ataxia, there will be incoordination due to loss of sensory information, so incoordination. Anosognosia, even the patient is unaware of his disability, that is called as anosognosia. He doesn't know that he has that disability. And the medial group of nuclei will become overactive. So even the touch of the breeze or a wind will induce pain. So spontaneous pain and hyperalgesia is there. And in that, pain threshold is very much lowered due to the overactivity of medial mass of nuclei, compensatory overactivity. Thalamic hand or ethetoid horn. So there is a moderate flexion at the wrist with hyperextension at the fingers. That is called as thalamic hand or ethetoid hand. So this is the diagram of thalamic hand. I can show you here, slight flexion at the wrist and extension at the fingers. And this is the infarct at the thalamic region. Involuntary movements, ethetosis, chorea and intentional tremor will be present. Ethetosis, we already know, slow writhing movements. Chorea are quick jerky movements or dancing like movements. And there is intention tremor. So the person will have tremor when he is asked to do a work. I ask the person to hold this pen. Then the intention tremor starts. Thank you for your patient listening. Bye.